Barefoot Bruisers. I'm Sawtooth Dave. This is the Miller Brothers T1 in all his glory. Carried it again this week. Well, not again, but I'm trying to do that similar to Ken does the Faulkner 5. I'm doing the Sawtooth 6, and this was week number 5 carried. Did I learn anything new? Nope. Still a badass knife. It's not a fidget knife. It's definitely a more hard to use knife, and I already knew that pretty much. So I didn't really learn nothing, but I still like the knife. So to finish it up on the Sawtooth 6, because I started a week early anyhow, we're going to do with a Bareware Solo. So throw the Solo in there for the last week to carry. And then the week after that, it's like, I think that Thursday that week we leave. I probably will carry something until Thursday, but that week I pretty much got to figure out what I'm sending, and I'm going to send it on to my father's house. He gets that stuff, so I don't have to worry about traveling back and forth airplane. Y'all know how that shit goes, right? But by far and large, it's the first year I tried this challenge. Like, I don't know, is it a challenge? Or is it more like to help you not spend money? I think that's more or less why Kent does it. It's trying to help, like, not spend money, right? I think that's pretty much the main goal. Well, as always in the first challenge, I always seem to do, I failed miserably, right? So let's see. First of all, I started it with the heater, which was part of the 40-day challenge. This one came in during the middle of that. I bought it before then, but I ordered it before then, but like it was bought. So pretty much a brand new purchase. I probably would have carried this more, and I did put it in the, believe it or not, in the left pocket to carry it because I really wanted to carry this knife. I probably would have carried it more had I not done this, one knife per week leading up to Blade Show kind of thing. Love that freaking knife. I actually talked to Todd earlier today. He's a cool motherfucker. Anywho, also, in that 6-week challenge, ended up buying Oberon. So, not another cheap one, but, got that one too. Right in that challenge. What else did I buy? Oh, yeah. The Inkosi for this project that I was going to work on. I decided to go ahead and buy this Inkosi. So, yeah, I'm going to just do the Inkosi thing and work out all the bugs with that. And I don't know. Let's just dive in it because I got to come clean with some stuff, right? Okay, so this is kind of it as it sits right now. So am I happy with how the action is? Yeah, now I'm happy with the action. Remember I told you last week I wasn't really happy with it. Sorry as I failed it there. Let's try to do it the right way so y'all can show you all that, huh? Okay, so the action's good. More or less what I didn't like last week. Sorry about the grease and shit that's on it. What I didn't like last week was the detent. Detent's pretty good now. I don't think that's bad at all. Problem is, in order to achieve this detent, I had to plug the hole that I already put in there because I put a new detent hole in it. You can't see it from the lock bar, but from the inside you can. When I originally fit that detent in there, I did it in a annealed state, so it wasn't hardened yet. So it's super easy to press fit the ball in there, kind of sort of shape the material, leave a couple stakes in it, so when I heat treated it, it was just going to go drop pretty much. The ceramic ball just gets pressed right in it. Not that big a deal. Well, I've said this before, but like pressing a new ball, like a new hole, and then pressing a detent ball into it, it's very risky, and sure as hell it broke part of the lock bar insert. I could break it apart and show you this stuff, but basically there's an extra hole in the blade that I had to plug, fill, because this new detent track run right on the edge of it, so I had to plug it. I don't like the way that came out anyhow, so I was already like dissatisfied with it. I drilled a new hole for the lock bar insert to work with that new detent, and it cracked the lock bar insert. So what am I going to do to fix this? I'm going to start over. There's several things I learned on this one because this whole mod, the making this whole lock bar insert instead of the ceramic ball lock face that it normally has, and doing the blade. If I'd have thought about it to start with, like, I bought this to modify this to save this blade. And ultimately, I scrapped this blade and scrapped the lock bar insert. So now I'm doing double duty to going back. If I thought about it ahead of time, I'd have just ordered more material and just made another blade and been done with it. I don't know, or maybe not even done the Unazon that I did with the rest of the blade material. So like in doing that process, sometimes the cart gets before the horse. And that's kind of what happened on this one. Like I got ahead of myself. I was trying to save everything, which, and it's a 50-50. Like it was a challenge to try to save it and to do it this way. But in the process, I pretty much took a good Incosi and turned it into one of mine now. So like it's modified anyhow. It's not ever going back to the factory as, hey, can we get this repaired? Like everybody knows that. Oh, and I did slap that Litch Northwest deep carry build clip on this one. It was on that Zon. I think it looked better on this one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna re-rig the blade. I think I'm gonna do the same exact pattern as what I did on this one. Like I'm gonna use this as a pattern and kind of sort of do the same thing on it. Let me wipe this grease off, it's bugging me. So I'm gonna do the same pattern as this and just basically redo it. And then also make a new lock bar insert, obviously, you know, to set the detent where I want it, that sort of thing. But there was a couple factors involved in this, you know, going around what was already there, what I'd already done that I normally wouldn't have done. So I think remaking it is going to be a better process. And you know, you only get better by doing reps, right? So I'm going to do some more reps on this one, get it right. I was going to send this off to Jay Dizzle to do the scale inlays. And I was going to let him do whatever he wanted to with it. I hadn't talked to him quite yet. I asked him earlier in the week if I could send it to him. He's like, yeah, send it whenever. But I think I got enough time before blade. I think I can remake this blade. I ordered basically the same amount of stock I did the last time. So I got another, you know, I think, what is it, 13 and a half, whatever it is, inch long piece. So basically it's probably the same, came out of the same piece the last one did, I'm guessing. So I'm going to remake that Incosi blade. And then while we're on top of it, I did get some more hardware too. Remember I was telling y'all about the lock bar inserts, those panheads that are kind of proud right there. I went ahead and got some 256 flatheads. So I think I can make that whole process, that whole lock bar insert, a little more sleek, a little more what I was looking for. So we're gonna try that. Although they are T6s, like it's a lock bar insert. Like how many times you taking that lock bar insert in and out? You probably shouldn't be unless you're refinishing it. You know, other than that, really ain't no reason to. What else was I supposed to say? Oh yeah. So this is just a look-see. This is nowhere near done. And I'm kind of sort of debating because I got all that material still. Let me explain the whole thing. So here's the Unizon as it sits. So you see I've done a little work to it. And I got it blasted and ground. The holes were there and the fuller flank off this side. So like it looks okay, right? It looks fine. I mean, the reason I made this blade shape to start with is that was the material drop that was left between the other two Incosis I made. So would I have made this blade shape, you know, just out of the blue? Probably not. Actually, when I originally did it, I was thinking Hawkbill because I think that's when Steve got his Old Dominion Chupacabra Hawkbill, and then Tomas's Reese Whelan or whatever it is. You know, like all those kind of sort of left a little impression. So originally I was thinking Hawkbill, and I still could make this Hawkbill if I wanted to. But here's my rub on this one. So as it sits right now, in order to make this work, so these are my studs. They're not done. If you can already see this little chamfer or something that's on the edge of this, I don't know if you can or not. I'm gonna mill it, but after I started, I was like, I'm gonna stop here and get somewhere else. Cause here's where I'm at. In order to make this blade work on this handle, I have to modify the handle, which I'm not afraid to. Obviously, I did the Incosi, but do I want to keep doing that? Because I'm on the ceramic detent. Let's see, you can see a little bit of lashing here, but it does leak. It does hold fine. It's just a matter of putting a stop pin in it. So I'd have to drill a pin in this area in here for a stop pin for the closed position. But normally the Zon studs will hit the scale, but you can see how I laid it out and did it. It's not going to work that way, right? It just is what it is. No big deal. And I probably have to make a backspacer. Let's see if you can see that hole in there. So look in that hole. You see that blade? So it shouldn't come past the detent, like it should stop pretty rigidly, but it's coming. Let me see if I can turn the camera just enough. There it goes. Yeah, it's going to be close even at that. So I don't think that I'm going to be able to use that stock hardware in this position as it is. So I would have to make a backspacer, drill it for a stop pin, and then make this blade work. Instead of doing all that, why don't I just remake the whole damn thing? Like, why don't I just go with what was originally there, like the geometry. Hang on one second. Oh, and sorry about the AC, but it's already ridiculously hot here in Arizona. Why don't I just make something more like on the style of this, where the stud hits the blade, or the blade stop pin hits the scale for the stop pin, so I don't have to modify the Incosi, the Unizon. That way, basically, if you wanted to swap back to the original blade, you could. Like, obviously, I got the stud out of that stock blade. It does require you to remove the stock stud. So yeah, the warranty. What am I trying to say? The warranty is still void. But at least I can return it to that stock state. Like that Incosi now, like I can't put a Incosi blade in this one. You're never going to put the Incosi blade in it. But if Billy decided he wanted to put Incosi blade in that other Incosi I did, he could just drop one right in it, rock and roll, and he wouldn't know the difference. Like I could send him that Tanto Incosi blade that I got, and it would drop right in his. And maybe he wants it. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm in debate. Do I want to keep this one and work on it, or do I want to just, reboot, start again? Or maybe, make it fit for the Zahn, or make it fit for the Incosi, and then if I have one or two extra, Chris Reeves is so consistent, I'm pretty sure I could just sell the blade. He could drop it in and rock and roll. That's my theory. Unproven, but I think I can make it work. So there's that. So that whole episode, basically, if I look at it like I only got one blade now out of that blade stock, the original blade stock, plus the cryo treatment. So I'm $140 into a blade, one successful blade. Then I'll have, that's what I'm gonna call the scrap blade, the Incosi scrap blade, plus the Zahn blade that I may or may not use depending on how I feel when I get there. I'm kind of thinking hot bill on that one right now, and maybe like fitting some to that Zahn frame for maybe somebody else to buy, and then finishing that one for me. But I don't know. We'll see when we get there. I might not even do a whole lot more CRKs. Like this is probably going to be it. So once again, that's K390, same steel again. So it'll give me another chance to try a heat treat on it, which is another good thing, because the last time that I got Billy to test his, it was at 63 RC. I was shooting for 66. So little bit of room for improvement there. Although I've been more read the 63, 64 range is ideal for a mixture of toughness and edge retention. But the edge retention guys like to push it to the next level. Quite honestly, like I'm not so much on either camp, like as far as when it comes to Chris Reeves, because I'm not using my Chris Reeves hard. I don't think most people use their Chris Reeves hard, but some might. I don't know. Like everybody use their knives differently. Steve did a video earlier about the new ZT that came out, and I don't know if y'all seen that or not, but I want to support ZT. Like, but I'm just not into production knives anymore. But like they're moving towards the right direction. But an access lock, whether they call it whatever they call it, their name for access lock is, similar to like the Microtech. It really reminded me of a lot of the Microtechs. Somebody else said that too. Maybe it's Rick. Somebody did a video on it. Somebody did. I don't know. It just does. Or maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was Nick actually that did that video. It just reminds me of a like, what's that, MSI or one of them ones like that. I don't know. The design don't thrill me, but I'm happy that ZT's at least trying to make something cool again. A hell of a lot better than what they've been doing. Like, they really hadn't done nothing since the 308. The 308 was kind of like, it was halfway there. They keep doing the in-house design, and I'm like, man, you just need to have like a real maker that actually makes custom knives. Look at your design and go, dude, this ain't gonna work. Like, the hole beside the pivot, like, for a hard use knife, you shot yourself in the foot by putting the accent hole in it where it should be stronger, not weaker. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. There's a lot of things they made, like all their in-house designs seem to be that way. Like whoever's designing them is like a CAD guy, but not really a knife guy. Like that's what I get. Like, but to each his own. At least they're making strides. I'm on a tangent, but who cares? 13 minutes in. It's Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day, y'all. I just now said it. I'm an idiot. Let's go with this. Like, so, the whole carrying the 6 knives thing 6 weeks before Blade Show in order to save money, did it work for me? Nope, not a bit. And we'll go with one more example. So, talking to Brother Jose. Y'all know Jose used to be huge in the community. He's still around. He's getting married, so he's more focused on family and that sort of thing, which is good for him, man. Super happy he's still around. And we talk every now and then. I hit him up, I don't know, a week or so ago and just said what's up. He, bullshitting back and forth. But early this week, he's like, man, it's time to get rid of some more. So I'm going to hook you up with that Crusader if you want it back. You're like, cool, I'll definitely buy it back. So if you watched this channel for a long, long time, I had this one way back. So I think I've owned 6 of these Fear for Prairies. This one I just had for a short period of time, and then it went. I like the knife. I think it's cool. I think I lent this one to Steve to check out for a while, or maybe he just saw it when he was here or something. But yeah, the blade, they're super thick. The blade grinds themselves are super thick. It's, you know, kind of comparable to what Todd does in his knives. You see the secondary bevel, how big that secondary bevel is. Let me get the heater back out. So you can see his actually secondary bevel is bigger than Crusader bevel, but it's similar. You know, they're thickly ground knives, but it doesn't mean they can't cut. They definitely can cut. My debate on it is, you know, first of all, it's got the G10, so unless Evan gets this one for me, which he always seems to get my G10 knives, it ain't gonna say G10 for me. I got to make that sucker titanium. So I may do a replacement scale on it, and then once I'm doing a replacement scale, I'm like, well, maybe I'll do a reblade on it too. And then like, well, how much money and time do I want to put into a Crusader that for me, when I could be making other stuff, do I want to do? So I don't know. May or may not do much for this one. May just throw it in the safe and just let it sit there for a little bit. But it's cool to have another Crusader. I kind of got, I won't say talked out of my other Crusader, but someone had asked me about it. And they missed out on another sale, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it right with them and let them have that Crusader. But I'm happy with this one. I'm super happy with this one. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so what I've been alluding or slowly alluding to is you spend a lot of money you don't need to spend before you go to the show. But I did sell a bunch of knives a while back, and I did mention to y'all several times that I ain't quit buying knives, start buying equipment. Let me pause it right here and I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna do this section of it handheld. Hopefully it don't drive y'all crazy. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm trying to aim at, that sort of thing. But some things in life just kind of line up and are meant to be. And I just think, like, out of my over 50 years on this earth, like, some things just seem to work out, some things don't. Like, some things you want to come and it don't happen, and sometimes stuff happens like dominoes falling in line, just right like it's supposed to be. So, seen an ad on Marketplace, Facebook, yeah, for a mill. I've been in the back of my mind telling myself I need something better than what I got. Like, I just have not been happy with anything I've really machined here, and that's just, you know, y'all have heard me say it, but going from industrial grade machinery to less than hobby machine, it's basically like a crude drill press with a vise that you can mangle around and make certain things. Yeah, I mean, it worked for what I was trying to do with it for the time being, but the other mill wasn't good at all. And then moving into something more industrial, it's something that I've been needing to do for a long time. So the other mill is kind of stashed. Let's see if I can turn the other way there. Sorry, everything's backwards this way. The other mill is kind of stashed back kind of against the wall right now. So anyway, as I was alluding to a second ago, the dude who was selling this mill, nothing but a cool dude. Like, I asked him to meet me at a certain time. He's like, yep, no problem this day, this time, no problem. So we met there. I rode up to his house that day. Darcy had the hot rod, had the truck, so I rode my bike up there, which is no big deal. Like, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to buy it today or that day anyhow, because it's a big machine and I really had no idea how to move the thing. Dude ended up being cool as hell. You know, a lot of similar things. You know, he was a motorcycle mechanic. I went to school for being a motorcycle mechanic. He ended up being a machinist. I knew where he worked. We basically worked 10 minutes from each other for a number of years. Like, he's just a real cool dude. Like, into pews, into, the cool stuff, like most of us are, like, similar. A lot of us have similar likes and less dislikes. But anyhow, he had this machine right here. Let me turn around and see it. So this is a Bridgeport. This is called the Series 1 J-head. And it also has a VFD on it, which the VFD is, so this machine is 3-phase. So with that VFD, I can run single phase, and this machine will run. So it makes it run easier without a phase converter. I do have a phase converter. Sorry about the shaky camera stuff. That is a phase converter right there. So I could run it on the phase converter with the original switch, but this just makes life a whole lot easier. So I got a backup plan if that VFD ever fails. But this is an industrial size piece of equipment. So it's almost to the top of the shop and all the way down. You can see the base. See, so see heavy duty piece of equipment. Like, this ain't no hobby shop machine. This is a real deal solid machine. So I'm able to do a lot more of what I want to do on it. But the dude was so cool. We worked out a deal money wise almost right away. And then he helped me move it. And that wasn't originally part of the deal, but like, Well, as we were loading it, I had to rent a hydraulic trailer, I had to borrow a truck from a neighbor. All this stuff came together in a day. So my neighbor's about to go on vacation. She was like, just take the truck. I don't care. I got to go to the doctor that day anyhow. Just take it. And I was like, really? You don't like want to rent it to me? No, she's like, just take it. I don't care. And I was like, well, how am I going to move it? So I started investigating. A lot of people on YouTube do hydraulic drop deck trailers. So I was like, let me rent a drop deck trailer. So I called the place. They're like, you can't rent it a day ahead of time. You just got to show up and when you're licensed and rent it. So we got 2 of them show up early. We open at 6. Called the dude. He's like, yep, show up at my house in the morning and we're good to go. And I was like, all right, cool. So everything worked out. Got the truck. Had to buy a few things like, straps come along for the, this thing's over 2,000 pounds. So I had to make sure it was strapped to the trailer good. But yeah, it all worked out. I got to the seller's house. His name was Sean. I got to Sean's house. And if for some reason Sean ever sees this, which I doubt he would, but yeah, thanks again, bro. Hell of a help. Very nice to meet you, and I hope you don't be a stranger. I hope you do come by and use it when you want to use it. But he's selling his house. He's moving up towards me, so maybe we'll get together and do some riding. Maybe we'll do some machine stuff together. I don't know, but I literally could not have done this without his help. And he had the other accessories, machine skates. I use my come along, but both of us using our heads, we moved this piece of equipment from, and he lives like about 60 miles from here. We moved it about 60 miles and got it here safely. Yeah, no harm, no foul, nothing broke. Got the trailer rental back and got the truck back across the street. So like it all worked out. It was great. But like, man, I'm super, super, super happy. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit there to have myself a Bridgeport mill. And you can see the other mill in the background. That's it right there. So like you can see it's just a hell of a lot bigger of a machine. So hopefully now we're cooking with gas. And I can tell you, so it's hard to show it with this camera backwards, but all I did was just take this and fly cut it. Well, not fly cut, but just 2-inch face mill. Let's see if I can show you this. Now, it's not going to come out in camera. I really can't show you this way unless I stop and start it, and I really don't feel like doing that. So first thing I did was basically face a piece of aluminum, which is nothing major, other than I couldn't get the surface finish on my other machine at all. And this one looks like almost a mirror, like just as good as you'd get off of CNC or anything else. Like it's what I've been missing the whole time. It's just a nice, sturdy, rigid machine. It'll do what I want it to do. So I got no excuses at this point. Now it's time to put up or shut up. But yeah, super happy to share that I got a old Bridgeport. These are like Harleys, man. You can buy all the parts for them. So, if there's parts that go bad or something, it's not like the other mill where I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like kind of thing. So hopefully now this all the, stuff that I didn't think I could do, I got accomplished. Now you need attachments. Like everybody's going to want certain attachments to certain things. There's certain operations I've never done before and that sort of thing. So like it's still going to be a learning curve. But at least we're now to the step. We're good. We're on the good step now. We're on the way to getting better quality stuff anyhow. So let me pause it right here and walk back into the shop. Back in the noisy part of the shop because the AC over there, but hey, it's still cooler. It feels better for me. Definitely my preferred side of the shop anyhow. So you can see, like, kind of got myself in a little bit of pickle for Blade Show, right? Not exactly the best way to go to Blade Show. Like, I just dropped a good bit of money on that, and like renting the trailer and all the other stuff. Like it wasn't cheap to do for sure, but all said and done, like that's gonna be 3-4 times the machine, if not more, than that little mill I already had. So what am I gonna do with the other mill I had? I don't know. I thought about turning around and trying to sell it. I thought about trying to make some kind of surface grinding attachment with it. I don't know. I'm gonna run the new mill right now, see how it goes, and then from there make a decision whether I'm gonna do with the other one. Like I might pawn it off and just let someone else have it, let them do what they want with it. But moving equipment in and out of the shops, like that's not for the faint of heart, especially that style, that heavy equipment. Like I really don't have the equipment here to move it. So like someone wants it, it's gonna have to be, we've got to earn your way to getting it, kind of thing. Like I would, as soon as I got this new mill, I'll be like, it'd be awesome just to load this thing up and send it to Donnie. Like have him something like to get started in milling. Like it's a piece, but he could still, as good as he is using just the tools he used, I'm sure he could do something with that. He'd probably embarrass me, like, dude, you were a machinist, look at this shit. Like he could probably do something good with that. Or, anybody else really, for that matter. But in practicality, like the machine's so heavy, you would need a dedicated service to take it from one place to another. So even if you're going, like I just did 60 miles, just to load the, get the trailer, go over there, load the machine, come over here, I drive over here, unload the machine. We were done by noon, but I started the day at 5 in the morning, so 7 hours to go 60 miles. Basically, that's a pretty lengthy day. And granted, you're probably just driving more to go somewhere further, but like it's time consuming. So a lot of the week was burnt up. Obviously, I went out there one day, looked at it, and then 2 days later, we moved it. We got the deal worked out and moved it. What was the day? I think it was Thursday we moved it. So hey, it's here. I'm not complaining, man. Like I said, it all lined up like dominoes in a row. Like it just all lined up like it was supposed to. Like all the stars aligned, or however you want to say it. But I couldn't be happier. Now I just gotta go out there and make some chips on it. And it looked like I got, because Memorial Day weekend, it looks like we got time off that we didn't think we were going to have time off, because some of the clinics that we normally service on the holidays actually shut down this year too. So it once again, stars lining. We're all going the right direction. But I did put myself in a little bit of pickle with the Blade Show money and that sort of thing. On top of that money, I showed you guys the stickers last week, and I went ahead and I told you I was getting shirts made. I got a call from them Monday saying like, you didn't approve the art, so there's gonna be a 2-week delay doing those shirts. And they were supposed to get delivered earlier this week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. And I got a call Monday saying me that stuff. So I was like, great, they won't even be here for a Blade Show now. Like, who cares? Like, it's no big deal. We'll just get t-shirts when we get t-shirts, that sort of thing. And I talked to Denise on Instagram, and I told her that same story. She was kind of bummed because she was hoping to get a t-shirt too. So she went and tried to get t-shirts. She asked for the drawing that Knights Edge Neil did for me, and so I sent her a copy of that drawing, and she went and got t-shirts made, which is, thank you, Denise. She's a hell of a supporter, hell of a friend, but she always goes above and beyond. Like, so you just asked for the logo. I didn't know anything about it, and then all of a sudden a t-shirt showing. I'm like, why is this t-shirt showing up? This don't make any sense. Because later that week I'd call them people and I said, okay, I don't want the t-shirts this week, so I could be ready for a show coming up, early June or late May. I wanted to send them to my pop's house so I have the shirts there. So I paid a little bit of money to kind of rush them and stuff like that. So I got all the shirts in, that sort of thing. I actually got them in this morning or this afternoon. I got here this afternoon. I don't know when they got here. We got to come home for lunch and eat them. So when I was eating and saw that they got delivered, so I'm stoked on them. I was going to show you guys the shirts, but I think I'm going to let the people who get them discover them themselves, because I don't know. I'm happy with them. I think they're cool. They're not over the top. Like, holy shit, I can't believe you did that. But like there's only a few shirts that I was able to get. If you missed out this time, which a lot of you did, and a lot of you is like missed out because, sorry, I got something in my beard there. It's driving me crazy. I don't know if it's a chip or what. A lot of you missed out because of the size. Like, I wasn't able to get like a 3 or a 4X or whatever you guys wear. Like, before I order shirts next time, I'll get with you guys, the guys who actually want a shirt, and we'll figure out the sizes and figure out how many we need to get in that size to make the run worth it and that sort of thing. This run was pretty expensive. I only did 20 shirts. All 20 are accounted for at this point. They're pretty much spoken for. So I can't even offer any to Blade Show people. They're all going to other people, which is exactly how I wanted to do it. It's fine. Like, it's perfect. I would have liked to have had, a few with me at Blade, but like, what sizes to wear? Do you want to bring extra shit to Blade? You already getting enough shit as it is. Like, it just didn't make any sense to carry to Blade. Stickers fine. Stickers are small. I just bring them with me, and I'll probably bring like, I don't know, half of what I got or something, because I don't want to give them all away at the show here. But then again, if I do, I do. Who cares? Or order more, right? And this one is pretty much going to be all lost. So like, I bought the t-shirts, paid more for them than I should have. I did order premium shirts. I did get print in front and back, and I did put a rush on them. So like, all those things factor in. And then you figure out like this. I think two of the t-shirt sends will be 2 t-shirts. All the rest of them are individuals. So was that 16 packages or whatever it is over there at about not quite $13 a piece. So you do the math on that one. Like, all that's adding up. And a lot of people, like, we're like, hey man, I'll throw you some money. I'm like, man, if I'm giving one away, I'll feel like I should give them all away. Like, just do it. So that whole endeavor probably puts me back about $800. No lie. It's probably pretty close to $800 to all said and done before I got the t-shirts, or getting the t-shirt and getting them to the people. Man, probably pretty close to $800 for that endeavor. So obviously very expensive on this one. I can't keep doing that. And actually, I was talking to Todd earlier, as I mentioned Todd Heater earlier, and he was like, yeah, man, like when you get t-shirts made, you tend to give them away instead of trying to sell them, and then you end up taking a loss on a t-shirt because you're trying to be cool, and, it helps you advertise, and you want people to like it's just one of those things, man. Like, I get it. Like, you got to be business on a certain point and like somewhat promotional on another point, like, so caught in that hard place. So I don't know. We'll do t-shirts again. This thing of this one's gonna wear off a little bit, and then we'll do more t-shirts. I don't know when. I got a similar design, but an updated version of it. Brendan drew it for me, and it's more what I had envisioned with this one when I was talking to Neil. And no offense to Neil, because he did a great job on what he did, and he got the party started anyhow, because nobody else was like stepping up, going, "Hey, what do you want? Let's do this, let's do that." He set it off. So forever grateful for that. But this one was more, I think Brendan, I think he drew it by hand and then, put it in a computer system. So it's more like what I was originally had in mind. And it's similar. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, it's so different. Like, it's very similar, but at the same time, it's different enough that you're going to be able to tell the difference. So the people that get the Gen 1 stickers, or the original stickers, or original t-shirts, or whatever else, there's never going to be any more of that design. I'm never using that design again. That design is a one-off and done. So we're stickers, t-shirts, done, moving on. So the next one's going to be a different generation. So if any of y'all want to collect the sticker or whatever else, like, I think pretty much everything I'm shipping, I'm going to be putting stickers in and that sort of thing. Or if you see me at Blade Show, by all means, snag you one. What else I got to bullshit about? Not a whole lot. I think this coming week, the mission is going to be to try to get that mill, to see what I can do on that mill, and then see what I can get done as far as, like, I'll probably try to prep some blades, CRK blades. May or may not happen. But I'll probably try one for the Zon and one for the Inkosi, and then whatever stock I got left, I may or may not do something else with it. So it may just be fixing the two that I got, or not necessarily fixing the two, but redoing the two that I've already started. And it may be that, like, I may have them for sale for a drop-in for a regular Inkosi or a regular Zon. I just have to see how it goes. But I think that's kind of going to be my mission this week, depending on how much time goes. But I don't have time to do it and to heat treat it this week. So heat treat will probably have to come in next week after, or something like that. Well, week after that Blade Show. So it may not be a done project till then. And then if that is the case, like where I get to a point where I'm stuck and I want to do something else, I might jump on that Crusader and do something with that Crusader. But we'll see. This has been a long one, right? Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I always try to do the videos where I kind of build excitement, but maybe it's build excitement for me and maybe not y'all, but like I try to build the excitement as best I can. Sometimes I gotta start off with the explosion and go from there, but the mill is like such a huge thing for me. Like, there's no way to describe it, how satisfied I am having a real piece of equipment in there. Like, it's honestly something I should have started with. I should have thought through and just like spent the extra money to do it to start with. And I'm kind of like, at this point, like, if y'all are like me and you're thinking maybe I want something like that little mini mill, but the big mill is really what I want to end up, just cut out the middle mill, just start at the big stuff and go from there. Like, I don't have any regrets at all. I haven't done shit with that machine, and I can already tell you that it's the machine I wanted to start with. Like, I should have started with that machine. I really honestly should have. But yeah, like, so at this point we're like basically a week and a half-ish from Blade Show, so another full week and then a half week. Y'all know that flying, you got to have some kind of new ID now. I just got wind of that, like real ID or something. I'm not in the loop, so I don't fly that often, like once a year maybe. And I had no idea that was a thing. Luckily, they say you can fly with a passport, driver's license, and a passport. So I'm gonna try that. If that don't work, like, I might not make it to Blade Show, because I'm definitely not gonna go get a special ID just to fly. It's probably the last time I fly anyhow. So, like, kind of bullshit in my part, but in my opinion. But, like, shoot the airlines in the foot, make you jump through another hoop, kind of thing. But bureaucracy. What can you do? Don't want to end on a bad note. hope y'all are having a great Memorial Day weekend, and see you next week. Y'all be cool. Later. So as I was sitting here and editing, I think, I did record the screw ups with the Encosi anyhow. So if you're bored and want to watch more, you're going to hear me probably cuss a little bit, explain where I screwed up, and you'll be able to see it. I think I did 3 or 4 videos. I think it's another 7 minutes. So if you're so inclined to want the bonus, watch. If not, see you next week. For real this time. Later, y'all. All right, well, let me go ahead and apologize ahead of time. There's probably going to be some swear words in this. But, as a machinist saying from my youth anyhow, is it better is the enemy of good enough. And, when you're working on knives and you're having fun, you're doing projects, like some of it's pushing your skills to a certain level. Some of it's getting to a level that you know is acceptable and then stop. And, well, yeah, I exceeded both, I guess. Let's get into it. It's a clusterfuck. This is what a clusterfuck looks like right here. All right, so let's talk about the problems I had and if I can save this, if I'm gonna save this, what am I gonna do to, I don't know. At this point, I still don't know. Let me get this show side scale out of the way. So all our problems revolved around these 2 pieces right here. So a detent and then the blade. So first of all, let me get a little punch out here so I can point to the clusterfucks as we go. This clusterfuck was the original detent hole, so you can see where it was in there. I screwed it up. It had tons of detent lash and wasn't good or anything like that, so I slugged it, meaning I cut a little hole here, turned a piece on a lathe, press it in here, and then re-drilled the detent. Did that work? Sure, it worked fine, other than this is K390, and the piece I put in there is of 17.4. It's a different hardness, and that, I don't know if you can see, well, it's a little deformed now, but it was a softer material. Even though it's hardened, it was still a softer material than the K390, and that ceramic ball just beat it up. So it started off as a good detent, turned into a shit detent. So I was like, all right, what else can we do to make this whole thing work? Well, I'd already had this hole here in the blade, and it was 1/8 of an inch, or just under 1/8 of an inch. So this is where the original detent was. And then when I lined up the 1/8 of an inch hole, this is where it came out. So you can see I don't have enough room on this face for 1/8 of an inch detent. So I originally tried it with an 062 ball. Let me back up for a second. I sleeved the hole. So the hole is a little bit smaller now. So this is a hardened piece of 17.4 in here now. Or not 17.4, what is it? 416? I can't remember. I can't remember what material it is, but it's a hardened pin. And then I drilled the pin. Anyhow, let's get to it. This is now a 2mm ball. For those who know dimensions, 078.9, is that right? 078.8, something like that. I can't remember dimensionally. Which works. It's in there. It works fine. And so this now functions fine. Looks like crap on this side because now I got 2 detent holes. You can see where this new detent track runs across that old slug here. It's smooth. You can see the line through it. It ate right through it, no problem. And it actually works. It functions fine. 100% functional, but this looks like shit and I don't want to go out in my shop looking like this. That's that half of that, right? So to save the blade, I'm going to have to drill this back out, re-slug it, re-grind it back flat, and then the detent working on this side should be fine. Okay, here's the second problem. In doing this part, this originally started out with an 062 ball, and basically because of the way that I set it up, it oversized the hole, and I wasn't able to seat the 062. It went in too deep, and it wasn't able to seat right. So I went and moved to the 2mm ball, which is the next size up. Drilled it. The closest carbide drill, because this is now hardened, the closest carbide drill I had was 5 thou under the ball, which is a pretty heavy press. But I was stubborn and tried it anyhow. Let's see if we can get close enough to this lock bar here so see it. And yep, it cracked this whole part of the lock bar out. So hopefully you can see how much of that is cracked out. It's all the way from this point right here all the way around to this other detent hole. So this whole thing is open right here. Now the detent stayed in there. It's still solid. And like I said, I put this thing together. I'll put it together in a second so you can see. It still functions great. But how are you gonna let something like that go out your shop? It's already broken, right? So I got no choice. I got to remake this lock bar insert. So if I make this lock bar insert, at least at this point, this half will be fine, saying that I can fix it and, you know, re-drill and tap it and make another one. I'm pretty sure I can do that in a day or two. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. Then I'll probably have to re-slug this, grind it back flat, and then try to use this hole on this. Another 78 thou. Hopefully I'm going to do it pre-heat treat, seat the ball, so that I know that it'll work without doing this to the side of the insert. So, yep, this is the woes and learning curves and the stupidity, and once you get going, not stopping when you should have stopped. All these are lessons I've learned in the past, but, you know, I'm hard-headed, so I got to learn them again. Let me put it together and just show you how it functions, because it functions great, but yeah, it's not going to go. I got to basically redo this whole thing, so let me just stop and show you. All right, so we're back together now. Let me just back it off just a hair. It's unlubed, so I just want to show you that the function of the detent. So I'm backing off that tension so I can move this thing. But you can see now, let's see if hopefully it'll come out of frame here. It sucks it in fine. It feels good. Everything functions fine with the knife. Hope you can see that. So I'm actually happy with the way it feels and the way it actions. So I got half of it, but the only thing is I screwed the knife up in order to get half of it. So yep, let me go back and make another lock bar insert. I just wanted to show you hey, you can't win them all. That's just how it goes. Like, it's just part of the nature of the beast. Can't win them all. But I'm trying to own my shit. Trying to show you all I ain't flawless. I'm definitely flawed. But here's a huge 6-minute flaw right here. Let's see if I can get it fixed now. All right, so we back. So I think what I've decided is I'm going to remake the blade and the lock bar insert. It still could be a good knife. It's just not up to my standards. So I did plug it so it looks a little better, but you can clearly see the plug. Do I need to point it out? But if I do, there you go. There's your plug. It's all ground flat. It'll work. The bearing track's going to come right through the middle of it, so it, you know, I can't feel it, but I still know it's there. I don't know if this will hold up, especially being all busted out and stuff like that, but I'm going to build it as is and just test on it, because at this point I'm pretty much saying that's scrap and that's scrap, but I can make a new one. So I'm gonna order more material and then make another lock bar insert and redo the whole thing again. But I think I'm gonna let Jay Dizzle do his thing with the inserts first. So I'm hoping that he can make it and just leave them like tape like these are on the back, so you don't have to put them in just yet. But I'm gonna talk to him and see what he says and go from there. But I think for now I'm just gonna put it together, use it, test on it. At least I get to test the steel a little bit, I guess, and then see how, if this bearing or ceramic ball or whatever stays in this lock bar insert, see how that affects action and everything else. So yep, abort mission. We'll get it right, just not gonna be on this blade or that lock insert. So sometimes you gotta start over, but these are the follies, just showing it all, keeping it real.